I know a lot of John Mayer riffs, but there's one that's always eluded me, and it's the Neon riff. So today I thought I would, once and for all, learn the beginning of Neon, and the reason I'm doing this is because this is sort of like a cult riff. You either know this riff cold or you don't know it at all. I haven't really ever tried to play it. I know it has standard tuning and a C. I guess we'll call this the Mayer tuning. But other than that, I've never really tried it. I will admit that I went on YouTube and I started to kind of look at different people's interpretations of what the finger picking pattern might be, because that seems to be obviously the most difficult part of this riff. And that's when I decided I need to record this, because I think a lot of people might do this, and this could be sort of a glimpse into how I think we should go about learning songs. And typically I use ear training, meaning I listen to the song and I learn it. I don't use tabs, I don't use any sort of music. I kind of just go off of my ear. That's what I think is the most beneficial for me as a musician. Not saying that's the only way to go about it. That's just the way I like to do it. But with this certain riff, I think it's important to see the finger picking style, because with guitar, there's a lot of different ways to play the same thing, but sometimes there's only one correct way to do it ergonomically. So I'm gonna go to YouTube and first see what comes up when I type in how to play Neon on guitar. How to play Neon on guitar. Let's just pick the top one and see what we find first.
1, 2, 3, 4, slap 3.
Okay. Gotta get that. Wait, what are those last two? 1, 2, 3, 4, slap 3, and then he's going cha-cha.
Slap 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, slap 3.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. Did you hear that? There's two more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thumb 2, 3, 4, slap 3, thumb 3. Well, let's try the correct way to play Neon, according to Ross Campbell.
If you write anything on your computer, you need to get Grammarly.
I write pretty much all...
Oh, that's weird. I don't have Grammarly and I don't need it. All right, I can already see this guy is not using the same finger picking style as the last dude. Let's see what he demonstrates it as. Really?
So what's happening there is
So he's saying same strings as the other guy, but that doesn't feel right, because there has to be the slap. That's a big part of it. So this is not right either. Okay, so here's the point where I am going to use my instincts as a musician and actually watch John Mayer play this thing and get a feel for what he's doing now that I have a couple different opinions on this. Again, ear training, and this is even more intense ear training, but it's really about examining the artist. This is the only problem I have with people who teach songs note for note on YouTube. If you get it wrong, then maybe it works for you playing it, but it isn't going to actually deliver the perfect end result every single time. Now, people like Chris Zupa, he's actually perfect, but there's only one Chris Zupa, isn't there? A man can only transcribe and teach so many songs. John Mayer Neon Live. One of the greatest live performances of all time, Where the Light Is. The groove is heavy with this one. It's sort of a hybrid between both of the techniques that I saw portrayed in the YouTube videos. So it does look like he's primarily using the thumb and index, but that slap is also happening the whole time. So he's going like, but he's almost got like a gun shape. And that goes along with any sort of great rhythm guitar player, that loosey-goosey wrist. It's what kind of keeps the momentum going. That's why when you're playing the drums, for example, you're not supposed to be real tight. You're just supposed to be real. All right, let's figure this thing out. We're gonna go 2 notes at a time. There we go. And then I know it goes up like a minor third. Okay, so those fingers stay there. That's where that thing happens. But he's actually not doing that part in this live performance, which makes me think I'm gonna have to lean on that first technique that I saw from that guy on YouTube. The whole point of getting this riff perfect is that part is essential. And then what's the turnaround? No way. I gotta hear that again. Yeah, that's what it is. What would it be? Okay, now let's see if I can play the chords and the bass. All right, so this is the ergonomic part of the equation. Obviously, there's a lot of different ways you can play this. Yes! Now, some research on what he's doing with those fingers. So I know there's this. That is definitely happening. Yeah! Okay. Now let's see if I can put that into motion with the chords. I think that's it. But the key is when to let this bass note ring and when to mute it. Because there's a real percussive thing happening. You have to be really articulate with those dynamics. So I think the first one is, and then the next time I hit that, obviously the slap is muted, but also that 7th strum in the pattern of 8 is also, should be dead. Or very light at least. All right, so there's a note missing in here. I need to find that note. So, yeah, that's how it goes. That's what it is. Okay, back to the original strategy of being able to play these chords before you get mixed up with the finger picking. All right, now it's time for metronome and chill.
Several metronome clicks later.
Well, pretty good for about 45 minutes, but I definitely need to practice this one to get it totally up to speed and be able to play it consistently. If you don't play this riff for like a few weeks and then go back to play it, you're probably going to have some trouble. So this is going to be one of my new go-to warm-up practice things that I play constantly so I never forget it and I eventually learn how to play it like the master himself. By the way, I noticed this thing about John, his thumb is not a natural thumb. I ended up using my index finger to bar. So the first chord we have in the progression here, easy, then here, still easy. That one's pretty difficult, but we come up here, I ended up going this here with a bar. I was playing it like this, but it turns out that when I'm playing quickly, I can actually make this happen. But here's the crazy thing that he was doing. He would do this, and then he would use his thumb to go up here, but he would still play this. I cannot even physically do it. Like here's the actual chord. But this here, where my ring finger is, he was putting his thumb, but you have to put the So I guess having opposable thumbs could be a secret to success. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little dive into the way I like to learn music, and I encourage you to learn that riff you've been putting off. Maybe you can use a couple of the tactics that I used in this lesson. Well, until next time, guys, keep shredding.